Veselin Topalov plays this beautiful sacrificial game against Gata Kamsky, where he does a sacrificial exchange and went on to win this match with checkmate. So, uh, this is the Queen's Gambit setup on the board here, and A6 makes this the Slav defense, Chabanko variation that played against that basically. So, knight b come to d7 and bishop to f4 by Topalov, and knight goes to h5 attacking the bishop, and the bishop drop backs to d2. So knight goes back again to f6, and rook now comes to c1, and pawn is pushed to g6 looking to fianchet this bishop, and pawn push to h3 covers this square basically, which could be used by the black to bring his bishop or his knight or anything like that. So queen to c7 is played, and pawn is now pushed to g3 with the idea of bringing the bishop here, and so bishop to g7 by black, and bishop to f4 here. So this allows this move allowed this bishop to come over here and attack the queen. It also allows this bishop to come over here as well. So the queen go back to d8, and this bishop to g2 move is played, and knight again comes to h5 attacking the bishop. So the bishop goes to g5, winning this knight, basically trying to force this pawn push here, because once you push this pawn, this knight won't have anywhere else to go, and if you push this pawn, this knight will be a corner. So pawn push to h6 attacking the bishop, and the bishop drop backs again to d2, and now Gata Kamsky castles on the king side. So pawn push to e4 by Topalov, and the pawn is captured, and the knight captures the pawn back, and the knight goes to f6 attacking the central knight. So knight retreats to c3, and rook comes to e8 against this uncastled king over here. So now Topalov goes for the castling as of the 18th move. Both the players castle on the 14th and 18th move, very late castling. So knight drop backs to f8, and queen goes to b3 now. So knight to e6 is played, and bishop goes to e3, and knight jumps to c7 now. So knight to e5 here is played using this pawn here as a nice little outpost. So knight jumps here over to d5, attacking this bishop and this knight, and also creating a discovered attack on this knight over here. So knight captures the knight, and knight captures back, and bishop now drop backs to d2, and this knight is now captured. This is a very good knight over here. Knight on in the center of the board are the most active pieces. So when the knight is captured, you are forced to capture back with your pawn, and this pawn structure is a little bit broken, but you can still manage your pawn structure by pushing the pawn to f4 and pushing this pawn to support these pawns. So rook comes to e1 now, supporting this isolated pawn as of now, and queen goes to c7 attacking the pawn, and now this pawn is pushed to e6. Yes, here it was suggested that you could also go for this move over here, because and to take control of this open d file, but this pawn move was played, and immediately this bishop captures this pawn. It was a free pawn again, and immediately Topalov goes for this sacrificial exchange here and captures the bishop with his rook like this. So once the pawn captures this rook back, it does a lot of things. This is a double pawn over here. This pawn is isolated. This is a weakened pawn structure altogether. The king is not protected by its pawn. It's associated with the pawn. It's not in the castle anymore. This diagonal is pretty weak, and there are a lot of weak squares which could be utilized for an attack. And that's the idea for this special exchange. And the rook immediately comes to e1, attacking the pawn, and queen goes to d7, defending the pieces. So queen to e3, d3 again, attacking this g6 pawn, weak pawn, and king goes to h7. The best move would be to bring the king over here to f7, but he went for g7, which he will regret soon. And rook goes to e5, activating the rook, and knight jumps back to f6, creating an opportunity for a queen exchange, because this knight protects this queen over here. So he didn't want a queen exchange and went for queen to e3, threatening to bring your queen over here and attack the king. So king goes to g7, and the bishop now comes to e4, attacking this g6 pawn. So now the king again goes to f7. So the earlier the king move f7 would have saved him 2 moves, but he went for that. So bishop now drop backs here to c2 over here. This basically it creates a more attack on this pawn structure. It also prevents this bishop from being captured by this knight in case. So rook comes to d8, double attacking this bishop over here. But the best move would be to bring this rook over here and protect this g6 pawn. But Queen goes to h6 now, and now the rook is forced to come to g8, and bishop goes to a5, attacking the rook, and the rook queen comes to d4, attacking this rook and also attacking this pawn at the same time. So bishop comes back again to c3, attacking this queen and also protecting the rook at the same time. So queen again goes to c4, and now the other bishop, the light square bishop, go to b3, attacking the queen over here. So the queen basically, in normal condition, will move the queen, but here the best move would be to capture and to exchange your queen, because this pawn here is hanging. And the next move, the bishop captures the pawn with a check, and the king gets away over here. So here, instead of going for the capture, the king comes up in the game, and the rook comes here to f8, looking to target the weak f7, f2 pawn, looking to create a counter attack. So basically, queen goes to g7, and here rook comes to d5. So immediately this bishop to f5 move is played here. So here this is attacking the queen, and also there is a checkmate threat by the white queen over here. So you got to protect it, and here the rook to f7 move is played. Here the best move would be to capture this rook like this, but he went for the rook move, and immediately this pawn is captured. This rook captures this pawn over here, and as of this position he resigned the game, because I'll show you whatever you do, it's checkmate on the board. So if the rook captures this rook, the following moves will basically end in a checkmate. So here this bishop here is pretty dangerous. It's protects. It avoids king from escaping into this coin over here. So because of that, it will be a checkmate like that. So so if, let's say, if you capture with the king, the checkmate will basically happen like this. Again, this bishop comes into action. It protects. It won't allow the king to go over here. If you move the king like this, again it will be a checkmate after the following combinations, basically. So because of that, he basically resigned as of this position. No matter what you do, it will be a checkmate on the board. So beautiful game by Topalov, going like basically a sacrificial exchange opens up the game for him, and a beautiful attack results in his victory against Gata Kamsky. So thanks for watching. We'll be back with more such videos.